I said, Dave,
Yes, how you doing?
thanks for coming, man.
Thanks for having me. It's a banging place as well.
Oh, nice, bro. How you been?
Yeah, good. Yeah, plodding on. Just trying to keep it going. Do you know what I mean? Just 10 years doing Concrete Junglist now, and I've never done anything for 10 years. And it's just just trying to keep the wheels in motion, keep your head above water, and yeah, keep pushing.
Yeah, wicked. Nice. So, like all good podcasts, let's start at the beginning. Where were you born? Where were you brought up?
Brought up in Dinas Powys, which is just outside of Barry here, and in between Barry and Cardiff.
Yeah.
Had like a Enid Blyton childhood, just like a street full of kids. Do you know what I mean? 80s growing up, BMXs, being in the woods, playing football.
Yeah.
All the good 80s growing up.
Yeah, wicked, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, the perfect time. I got a kid myself now, and you just think, man, like I know my grandma was just like, oh, we had the best childhood, and then my dad was like, nah, we had the best childhood, and now I'm saying to my son, oh, we had a way better childhood. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was no computer games or no Fortnite and no phones or anything like that. You had to go outside, kick a football against the garage door and make the noise, and everyone would be out playing football and mob and all of the good stuff.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? The kids growing up today, like, it's a bit quite mad, innit? Like, my boy,
How old your boy?
12.
Yeah,
But
same
I
age,
got
exactly the same age, 12.
he's
And
like trying to get him off the computer is crazy.
yeah, I'm like 50-50 because I have my kids 50% of the time, week on, week off. Um, if it's raining and things like that, I let him go on the computer. When he comes home from school, I let him go on the computer because I just, obviously, we're old and we're like, no screen time, but it's where he gets to speak to his friends from school outside of school, and he can be just like Mrs. Whatever or Mr. Whatever's a fucking twat, and
Yeah.
all of that, and have this cool friendship group. But then I also make him go outside and play football. Do you know what I mean? Like we go and play football, we go and make him do artwork at the table and things like that. So I try and get the balance, but I still miss the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. I like those like YouTube reels where they come up, only 80s kids remember this, just takes you straight back.
Yeah. Making ramps, do you know what I mean? Starting fires, egging at Halloween, just at Halloween. No one's egging, no one's flowering, do you know what I mean? It was just,
Mad, isn't it?
yeah.
I used to be saving my eggs for months.
Yeah, because you couldn't go in the shop and buy eggs straight away, on Halloween. You'd have to have them like, 2 weeks before.
Yeah, I'd have the bottom of my wardrobe just layered with boxes of eggs ready, like.
Yeah. Yeah, none of that. Yeah, there's good things and bad things, and I think that's just life, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But everything seems to be changing at such a pace now that you just never know. You never know what's around the corner, do you know what I mean? And what's gonna happen. But
It's a mad climate we're living in here at the moment, like.
like completely,
Yeah.
like everybody's arguing, everybody's fighting, there's wars all over the world. So I don't know, sometimes, when you come home and your kid's just playing Fortnite, you're like,
Yeah.
at least he's here, at least he's warm, at least he's fed, at least he's got a roof on his head, and he's cool. And his arguments are about, who just fucking sniped him on Fortnite, not anything else.
Well, talking about my boy Kian, I love him to bits, like, but yeah, I worry about the amount of time because he's like, I've tried him with graph, tried him with football, he's just not interested. Then my mate was cutting my hair the other day and I was on about it because my mate knows Kian. And he's like, oh, fucking hell, bro, what do you want him to do? Be like you? I was like, maybe not then. Like,
I don't know, you find your way, don't you?
yeah.
Like I always loved graph. Like as a kid, I always loved graph, I always loved hip hop. But it never found me. I was kicked out of art when I was in school because I wasn't good enough. I wanted to do a GCSE, kicked out, wasn't good enough. But it will come and get you. Do you know what I mean? At some point, the thing that you're supposed to do you know what I mean? Whether your kid likes football now or likes graph now, whatever he's supposed to do, it will come and get him eventually, Like mine was a necessity. We were starting drum and bass nights. No one to do our flyers. We couldn't afford flyers. My dad had a laptop at home that had Coral Draw on it, so I was like, "Cool, I'll be in charge of flyers." And then art found me,
Is that how it all started?
Yeah,
Can we
yeah.
talk about that?
I wasn't doing art at all before then. You know, the first piece of art I did turned into a fly poster was on the street. You know, so
Yeah.
it was mad because it obviously was shit. You know, and it went out. It went out, and you
I
know.
was gonna say that. So did you have like instant feedback from that flyer and think, oh, hang on a minute, this is like, or did you just get like the actual experience of making that flyer lead you?
I thought it was good. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I did it. Obviously, I did it, and I thought it was good. It was obviously shit. And all my friends thought it was good because it was out doing it. It must be good because it's on the fucking wall. Do you know what I mean? It's been fly posted on the wall. So you know, art is, you know, some people like it, some people don't. But it must be to such a level because it's on the wall.
Mm.
Little did they know that I put it on the wall. You know.
Yeah. I made some really dodgy flight. Well, at the time they were sick, but like looking back on them now, for like Tbone and Picton and all them boys, they'd say, "Oh, can you draw this and draw that?" And I'd draw it, and they put the writing on, and still got a few of them. But like looking back, like
No, but they're probably amazing. Do you know what I mean? I would have they sure.
they are really bad. But so like, how did you get? What was you doing with the drum and bass then? What was you doing with the drum and bass notes?
So I was so going right back to the beginning.
Yeah,
I was just like a skater mosher kid. Do you know what I mean? I was like there was a divide. You know, your
yeah,
Barry on Dennis Powers. Dennis Powers is more mosher. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Barry was more like chav and dance music, and there was
You know, Travs, I was.
that kind of divide. You know, so I was completely the other end. I was completely mosher. I was completely skateboarding, going to metros, doing everything that, you know, like a mosher would be doing, going to
Yeah,
punk gigs. And because I was kicked out of art in school, and I wasn't, you know, too enamored with the school I was going to, so I went to Coleg Glenhavron in Tremorfa to do like media studies. And that's where I met Lincoln Barrett, High Contrast.
yeah,
I met him before he was even into drum and bass. I can remember him listening to his first drum and bass track he ever heard, you know, J Magic, Arabian Nights, and on Metalheads.
yeah, yeah.
Um and just, you know, being on his coattails during that journey of him trying to produce, and, you know, it set us off. Then, you know, you know, we'd have Bulletproof and Silent Running in Cardiff, but then we'd also be going to like Bar Rumba in London and Fabric and all of these places. You know,
I went to all the Bulletproofs.
yeah, the best nights, the best night,
Amazing.
Emporium,
Yeah,
best
Emporium.
club, gone.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, I kind of was just following his journey, and again, he was a mosher as well, so we used to go to metros. And one night we got kicked out of metros because our friend was fighting, and they banned us for, I can't remember, maybe 8 weeks. And I remember saying, as we were getting kicked out, I said to the bouncer, "We don't need this club anyway. We're going to make our own club." And I remember Lincoln looking at me like, "What? Like what? What are you on about?" So they banned us for even longer. So, but that set that little seed in motion, and we were like, right, cool, we'll get our own club. So Lincoln was starting to DJ drum and bass. I was like trying to DJ hip hop, and we, you know, begged, borrowed, stole all the equipment, rented a sound system. And can you remember Osbar on St. Mary Street?
yeah, yeah.
So one of our friends worked there, so they gave us the basement of that, and we started a club night called Neuropol. Pound to get in, thinking DJing drum and bass, me DJing hip hop,
Well,
me doing the flyers, and it just started from there.
do you know what? It's like I can't really remember that kind of thing, but like thinking of like you two both as individuals and that's just like incredible, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I love Lincoln. Like used to buy my records off him in Catapult when I was a kid, and we had
He's he's the nicest guy, and he's still the nicest guy.
the
Do
nicest
you know what I
guy.
mean? Like nothing. He's almost like a museum artifact of a person. Do you know what I mean? Like
100%.
you would think somebody who had been on that trajectory of stardom and being the, you know,
Yeah,
being the pinnacle of drum and bass for a while. He, you know, he changed the sound of drum and bass
yeah.
for a long time. And anyone who knew him prior to that or after that just find the same the same guy, you know?
Yeah. We were on the phone 40 minutes an hour the other day. Like, just, yeah, what a geezer. And yeah, that was mad to see him blow, because he was like literally over the space of like a month, wasn't it? Like, he was like catapult to me anyway. I thought like 1 minute he was like working in catapult, and then the next thing you know, he's got this album out and he's at the Miami Music Conference, and you're like,
Yeah, that was it. But luckily I saw the, you know, because if you see it from that, it's almost like the swan. And then I saw the legs kicking underneath. Do you know what I mean? I remember him bringing music into Colic Glenhavron, and it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. Do you know what I mean? And he just tried so hard. I remember going. He used to his mum had an office in her house, and she would work in it in the day, and then he would like take over it in the night to produce. And he had like a crack copy of Cubase with like two bars where you could put your own music in, and he'd have to like layer it down and move it up. And you know, I would just be sat with him in the room watching him work, and just the amount of hours and the amount of effort and the amount of belief he had to do it. And you know, it was crazy to watch, but it was like awe-inspiring, and just inspired me to do what I do, you know, just to have that belief that you could, and then just turn around and do it, you know?
yeah, like anyone, not just, that's what it does to everybody else. It's like, it's a mad journey for them, but when you actually, you're an outsider watching that guy that you've seen working in a record shop, or seen like training in a boxing gym, then all of a sudden they're like world champions of this sport.
Yeah, and
It
it
gives
creates,
everybody else belief, don't it? That like, fucking hell, we can get there. Like,
yeah, and if you like remember back in the time, like the drum and bass clubs, there was only a few drum and bass DJs. There'd be like 3 or 4 that would be the residents of every single night. Bulletproof had the same residents. Do you know what I mean? It was like,
boy,
yeah, Cosmic Boy Tommy, and then Silent Running would have Haze and Focus, but it was the same DJs, all great DJs, all great people.
great DJs.
And then Lincoln came through, and he was DJing more for Silent Running. And as soon as that album came through, everybody was a DJ. And then it just blew up in Cardiff. And then you had like, you know, 25, 30 DJs all vying for those spots. And, you know, I ran a night called Apature then, and it was just so hustlers, just trying to keep everybody happy, because there were so many DJs that came through just straight after, you know, True Colors by Lincoln.
Yeah. When we were chatting, he mentioned that Rob Picton, just as he was starting producing it, dropped him down some musical equipment and he couldn't even use it.
Yeah.
Something like that. And he was just like, I can't even use it yet. Like, that's how early on it was into his producing days. I think he actually gave the thing back.
I think 40 took it. 40
took it.
Yeah.
Sounds about right, doesn't it? Oh yeah, gone, never to be seen again.
Yeah, that's what Link was saying to me. That shows what a nice guy Rob was. Do you know what I mean? Like, like Rob Picton he had such a good demeanor about him, and he could see talent, and he would foster it and help it and put it above himself, you know?
Yeah.
He was the first person I ever did a flyer for that wasn't my night. You know, he saw the flyers I was doing, which I just said were obviously shit, but he saw something in me. Do you know what I mean? And I remember him coming up to me on Westgate Street, and he was just like, "Yes, Dave, I've got this night here. Can you I need 2 flyers. Can you do them?" And I was like, you know, I was just like, "What? Like you want my work?" And do you know what I mean? Obviously, I'd heard of Rob, and you know, and everything that he was doing, and it just gave me the belief and the fight. Do you know what I mean? Those early days where somebody comes on and says, "Oh, you're good enough to do my thing," and you know, Lincoln had that from him where Rob was like, "You're good enough to own this," you know, even though you don't know how to use it, you can do this, and you know, what a guy.
He was so much like that. He put so many people on. So I can remember the first time I went to his studio, I was about 12, 13, and he had this big gold Newmark mixer. And I was like, wow, look at that, Rob. He's like, yo, everybody in drum and bass have played on this mixer, man. Nicky Black Market, Kenny Ken, they've all paid on this mix, and I'm just like, fuck, like, do you know what I mean? And then a few years later, probably about 4 years later, when I was about 16, 17, just like, beep, 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 outside my house, up at the window, sat in, he's like, yo, come down here now, man. Gone down there, and he's like, open the boot. He's like, take the mixer, man, it's yours now, like.
Yeah.
Kept set of 1210s as well.
Yeah, that's
It's just like, fucking hell, boy. I was like, well, that's mine, like, the mixer. He's like, yeah. So, I've had other mixers since, but I've taken the top off the gold mixer just on my wall, man.
Yeah,
the new Mark thing, like, that's what he was like. He just fucking,
yeah, and everyone has played on it. Do you know what I mean? There's no bullshit. Like,
yeah,
everybody's played on it.
I never get a point out of him, like, but shift with set of decks in the mixer, like, mad of it. Yeah, sick. Yeah, Lincoln was, wicked days, yeah, seeing him blow up.
Yeah, as I say, he opened everything. So he opened it up for me to be able to promote. So I started a night called Apature then, which is what, and that's why me and Rob got on quite well, because he did the other side of drum and bass. I took the like more liquid side of drum and bass, and yeah, that was, I think, I don't know, maybe 8 years I did Apature.
Yeah.
Promoting drum and bass in Cardiff, getting all my favorite DJs down, being able, and doing the flyers and doing the artwork for that. I didn't have anybody telling me what to do or how to do it, or that's shit, that's not, so I just kind of was able to, kind of get my own style together, and then just, move on, just, I think, I'm not sure how many years I did Apature, but then gave that away and then started Droneboy and opened a shop with Droneboy.
Droneboy was sick, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good, but I've got the Droneboy file on my computer, and sometimes when I'm stuck for ideas, I'll open it up and I'll look at it all, and it's all fucking shit. Do you know what I mean? It's all, but it just was a moment, it was.
What's the meaning behind it, Droneboy? What?
It's like I opened 3 shops with Droneboy, and the reason, one of the main reasons I changed to Concrete Junglist was just people would come in the shop and be like, what's your traffic on with feet? Why a traffic on with feet? I'd be like, I don't even know. It was what I could do. I remember why I did it. There was a DJ called Money Shot. Can you remember DJ Money Shot? So he wanted a mix cover, and he came in, and he was just like, was sat next to me while I was doing his mixtape cover, and he was just talking and talking, whilst I was doing his thing. And he was just telling me like all the history of like hip hop and little nuggets of information that I didn't know. And so he was telling me about a lyric in Beastie Boys song, I think Sure Shot, where they name check Vaughn Bode, Vaughn Bode, Cheek Wizard.
Yeah.
And so he's telling me about Cheech Wizard being like graffitied up everywhere in New York, and how it used to be a comic book character, and then it became like a graffiti icon, and to the point where Beastie Boys
were good friends with the guy that was the first guy to ever put a bow day on a train.
Was it? Yeah.
Guy who writes Ritu, Fred Vielema, his name is. He's from New Jersey. He's been to the shop, painted with him in Cardiff. And it all started because of Re used to like the comics.
Yeah.
And then he sprayed a Cheech Wizard and a lizard on the train, and then that's where this all come from.
Yeah, so that's where Droneboy came from, because I was I remember walking home from Roy Money Shop telling me that, and I was like, I want to do like a British Cheech Wizard. Wouldn't it be great to have a British Cheech Wizard? And so I was like, I changed the wizard's hat to a traffic cone, and because he's got like these weird sock kind of boot things, I was like, I just need shell toes,
Yeah.
And so that was it. It was just from that conversation, and I put it up, and because I was fly postering all the drum and bass nights, so I'd just break into like student accommodation and things like that, just pasting up drum and bass events. Like weirdly felt guilty about doing that, because I felt like I was breaking in places and just telling people to spend their money on drum and bass nights. So to counteract it, weirdly how my head works, I was like, I'll just paste up, because Shepherd Fario Bay was big at the time. I was like, I'll just take this traffic cone character and just start pasting him up and stickering him about. It's just so I'm doing something else rather than.
Also become like a kind of a street art thing to you then.
Yeah. Just like,
Wow.
I didn't want to be like a street artist. Do you know what I mean? I didn't want to be, I was still into drum and bass and loving that, but it was
Yeah.
just like just something I did that didn't feel like 100% capitalism. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't trying to,
Yeah.
sell to to the people. I was putting up a little bit of artwork.
SBS Salvage, South Wales #1 vehicle dismantler and car part specialist. Serving customers throughout the region for the past 10 years. You are sure to receive the very best price for your scrap or salvage vehicles. Just check out our websites, Scrap Car Cardiff or even sbssalvage.com to get an instant online quote. We buy all cars, vans, etc. Should you need any part for your car or van, then don't hesitate to call us, and our dedicated parts department will definitely be on hand to assist you. We also offer the very best prices for copper, brass, lead, aluminium and all other types of metals. Just give our friendly staff a call on 01446 421 034, Monday to Friday 9 to 5 or Saturday 9 to 1 to receive a price, or come down to our depot in the rear of the unit, 7 Redrup Business Park, Cardiff Road, Barry, CF63 2QW. We also don't just buy cars and sell parts. We also sell part-worn tyres at the very best prices at our depot on Robbins Lane in Barry, CF63 1QT. Call us Monday to Friday 9 to 5 on 01446 701 515, where we will assist you in any way we possibly can.
Let's do some criminal damage to counter.
Yeah, exactly that. I may as well do that because I've broken in here. I've taken the time to break in here. Do you know what I mean? I'm running the risk of, being chased by the security or the police being called or whatever. So, I may as well put something else up as well,
So so then that turned over to Concrete Junglist then, was it?
Yeah, so I started putting, people were like, I like Droneboy, so I started putting them on t-shirts. Opened a few shops up. I had the old Catapult, so when Catapult left, I turned that into a Droneboy shop. Then we went into Sid David's 2, and then we went into one of the other arcades. And at that time, I just had my boy Ben, so he was like 1 year old, and I was like, I can't come into the shop every day. So you have to do the 9 to 5 in the shop. Then you'd have to go home and start designing and start doing, all the admin for the shop. And I was like, I want to be like a proper dad. Do you know what I mean? I want to be hands-on. I want to be there, for everything. So I closed the shop down. And just before I closed the shop down, I did 2 t-shirts that both said Concrete Junglist on them, and I couldn't keep them in the shop. They just flew out. They were Droneboy t-shirts, but they just had the words Concrete Junglist.
Yeah.
And I made the decision to, when I closed the Droneboy shop down, that would be the end of him, and it would be the start of Concrete Junglist, and trying to do what I was doing, but at home with a baby, and bring him up how I want to bring him up. So that was Concrete Junglist.
Yeah.
And whatever, it's weird, whatever I've done in life, however far I've tried to walk from drum and bass, it just always drags you back. You can, I feel like I'm in Jumanji. Do you know what I mean? As soon as I'd try and do something else, so when I was doing Droneboy, like Goldie would ring me and be like, can you do this for me? Or someone else would ring
Goldie now or not?
Yeah. So he would ring me, and he got me work with like Stussy and people like that. So I was just always coming back to drum and bass, or, people would be like, can you do my artwork for my album or artwork for a single? Because I was, I always had one foot in that world, and I've never been able, not that I've ever tried to get away, but once you're in that world, you can never escape.
It's mad. It always just drags you back, don't it?
Yeah, probably the same with you with graffiti. Do you know what I mean? You've probably had thoughts where you're like, I've done this a long time. I've achieved the little kid inside you is like, I've achieved everything I wanted to achieve. This is by being here. Imagine you as a young kid seeing all of this, a whole wall of graffiti cans and all your work everywhere. You'd be like, cool, I've done it. But it won't let you go up.
This is nothing in graffiti really. Graffiti is the spots you paint, the trains you paint
Yeah.
as you go. This is cool. Don't get me wrong. And it's like,
No, but I'm saying the kid in you would be like,
oh yeah, but
I must be doing something
Yeah.
fucking right if I've got a wall of graffiti cans.
yeah. But I just always been the same. I've always worn the same clothes. I've always had spray paint. So we've got to set a turntable somewhere knocking about. It's just your life, innit? It's just so like the last like 3-4 months I've been back buying vinyl again.
Yeah.
Just going online, Discogs, and just ordering, just going through like YouTube and anything I could find, trying to listen to like old tunes and just buying them up.
Yeah.
And
You're in Jumanji too. Do you know what I mean? Can't go away.
yeah, and I've had Picton's daughter. They're gonna give me a load of records as well. I did want all of them.
Yeah.
I want all of his collection. I want all of them. She's like, right, okay. Not for the monetary value or even just to have a load of bullets. I'm
Yeah.
just like, I just want his tunes.
Yeah.
And then she got back to me.
And to air them out every now and again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to air them out every now and again. You know, they can't be staying in a box. You know.
We was always rowing over records. So like he had the studio down my mate Sparrow's, and I go down and I take the records and I go out and play it, and he'd be like, yo, where's my fucking... And I'd be like, well, my dad's are going to get it now. Fucking come on there. We'd have to go to my dad's and get his records he's paying out. And yeah, arguing over needles and stuff, like turntable needles and shit. I was like his little brother, innit? So I was always like pissing him off, taking his records, taking his needles.
Yeah. I think I was lucky because I never got a DJ bug. So I've always DJed little bits, but I've never fallen in love with DJing. It's never been my
fancied it?
No, never. My whole thing was, so when we started in Ozbar, I would DJ, and in my head I'm like, I'm playing all the good tunes that I want to hear to dance to. So I'm playing them. If I play them, you're not going to play them. And then when you're playing, you're not going to be playing the good tunes that I want to hear, you know? So I was always like a raver. Do you know what I mean? Like, and if I, when I was a mosher, I was always just for the crowd. Do you know what I mean? In the middle of it, wanted to be in the middle of it and keep music magical. Do you know what I mean? So I go around Lincoln's house, watch him produce, and I'd be like, I don't really want to see this. You're like looking under the curtain. Do you know what I mean? Of how you know how it works. And I'm like, I don't want to know that, because I don't want to go to a rave and be like, snares off. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't like that snare.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't want to care about any of that. I want to go to a rave. I want to go and have music, and I want my music to be magic. Do you know what I mean? I want to be able to lose myself and love it for what it's supposed to be. I don't want to be worried about as I say, like snares or a bad mix. Do you know what I mean? Like, even as a promoter, if someone I'd look at some of the DJs in the crowd, if there was a bad mix, and they'd all be like, and I'd be like, it doesn't matter so much, it's a banging tune. Do you know what I mean? Like
shit happens. It's a fucking hostile environment when you're DJing out. It's fucking
90% of the crowd couldn't give a fuck whether the mix is out or not. Do you know what I mean? As long as you can take the crowd on the journey, that's all I cared about. Do you know what I mean? So I just didn't want to get in the music so deep as to lose the magic, because I think you do that, don't you? When you get into it, you lose.
Usually like
the magic, you know.
Like even in Birmingham, we was up in Birmingham painting last weekend, and there was a drum and bass DJ on. So I'm like, okay, cool, man. Then I'm like, fucking drag him off, man. He's just clack, 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 clack. I was like, I wish I bought my fucking record.
Yeah, it sounds like the Grand National.
And like the old hip hop nights as well, like that used to piss me off, because like you'd have like an act performing on the stage, and then you'd have everyone else on the side. Instead of dancing, they'd be going,
yeah, just a chin scratch.
Yeah, scratching their chin with their arms folded, like really like fucking, dissecting these people. Like,
yeah, I'd go to early raves with Lincoln, where Lincoln, it was almost, back in the day, it was almost like always like boiler room. Do you know what I mean? The crowd would be up on the booth.
Yeah.
And they'd all be looking down, and you'd look over to him. I'd be like raving, and all of a sudden I look over to him, and he's answering questions to the nerds on the front. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're just like, dude, look, don't worry about them. Yeah. Everyone's going fucking batshit crazy at the back here. That's where you want to put your concentration, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, Che taught me that about DJing. He said, just pick one guy at the back and play to him. and forget everybody else. Just play to that one guy.
Yeah, Randall's one was always pick somebody in the crowd who's not dancing and make them dance. As soon as they dance, find somebody else in the crowd who's not dancing and make them dance. And just keep on going to the people on the side until you're trying to make everybody dance. And that was his. And he's obviously the greatest, you know?
Yeah, rest in peace, Randall, man.
Yeah.
Fucking bad loss, Howard.
Yeah.
So who do you think was, so coming back to the Cardiff scene, who do you think really, like, was that kind, I don't know, should I ask this question? The best DJ, what do you think? Or the best you've seen, or even in, maybe not even in terms of skill, just like energy they brought and stuff, or...
Everybody, the thing is at that time Cardiff was so competitive that there wasn't a bad DJ. You didn't have a bad DJ. It felt like, so as a promoter, it felt like you would book the artist you want to bring down, and then you could put the players around him to play for that specific night, you know. And that's what I love doing, just creating the whole night from start to finish. Who am I going to put as the first DJ, second, third headliner, who's going to go after him? So you can't pick a best DJ. You know, you can pick the fastest. You can pick people. Do you know what I mean? Like Ransom has always been like somebody. There's DJs who are like sweepers, who you could put in any position, in terms of like using the football analogy. You know, you could put them in any position and they'll play
to the crowd.
They'll play right. Do you know what I mean? They do the right job. And there's some DJs who are specifically strikers or specifically defenders. Do you know what I mean? So the ones who you could put on any night, and you know, if a DJ doesn't turn up, or if the headliner, you know, I've had a few times where the headliner either doesn't turn up or is messed up so much that they leave. You could put Dino Ransom in there, you know, and there's all the Barry crew as well. Do you know what I mean? Like Tribe and Shepherd D and Coop and Swifty, and I'm probably missing loads of them, but Barry had his own competitiveness as well. You know, that crew was always super competitive.
They were like my youngers.
Yeah.
Like I was like Picton's youngers, really, and then they were like, but they're sick, fucking sick boys.
Yeah.
They took it to the next level.
Yeah, and they like I said before, they came up with like, from Lincoln came through, and then this whole group. It was like, you know, 40, 50 DJs were underneath, and they were all great. So you can't. There's no way. Do you know what I mean? Like I always thought when I was running Apature, we'll do an award ceremony at the end of the year. Do you know what I mean? We'll do like a Apature award ceremony, but you were just like, you just can't do it. You can't pick one from the other. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. One's great at something, the other one's, you know, better at something else, you know? And everybody was so competitive. You know, Shepherd D came through and he could mix, I don't know, like 40 vinyl in an hour or something, and you were just like in awe of him. But you know, you don't always need 40 vinyl in an hour. Do you know what I mean? On a night, you know, like other DJs
they got mixing Tourette's, some of these boys. It's like, come on, let's like stretch it out a bit and just log long mixes.
That's what I miss. Do you know what I mean about the scene nowadays? If I'm gonna be like a grumpy old man nowadays, it's everybody DJs for, you know, TikTok or Snapchat. That, you know, you've like everybody's DJing for the 20-second clip.
Yeah,
you know. Whereas before, when we were younger, the DJ wasn't even. You know, you'd go for the DJ. But they never had, like, you know, LCD TVs behind them or anything. They were in a dark corner in the back of the room, and you occasionally looked up to the DJ. Do you know what I mean? You weren't there really. You were there for the DJ, but they weren't like the pinnacle of anything. So the DJ could take you on like a long mix or a long journey with music, and you know, you could hear the whole tune. You could hear the two drops of the tune.
Yeah, that's one coming in, and that's how I DJ.
Yeah.
I like to play the tune, and then you got to have them two rolling together, and you got to have them at the right point, and then you got to have the nice exit of the last one, and then And I feel like the drum and bass music was produced for that, for the DJs to play like that as well, because the end of the record, you'd always have a break, which would have been perfect to end.
Yeah,
Obviously, you've got the beginning of the next one.
Yeah. But
And,
that left with the vinyl, obviously. Do you know what I mean? When
Yeah.
vinyl died and it became this
and I feel like
digital art form.
these DJs now, these digital DJs, I know a lot. Everyone's had to cross over to play out and stuff. They couldn't live with old school DJs.
No.
They could not live. So like, I'm not on about Tribe and all that lot because they started with vinyl and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But like new DJs are just getting into it now. Try going back to back with Tbone, Picton.
I went over to Tbone's house not that long ago, and I just sat in his house watching him DJ, and you're just like, you're just a master. Do you know what I mean? Like you know,
For me, the
analog.
greatest of all time, to be fair.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, and you know, like Rob always had it. He was always on, you know, in Rob's circle, you know.
Rob,
I wish I had him play more, you know, for Apature and stuff. But again, as I said, Lincoln came through. About 50 DJs came through with him, and at points I was just, you know, telling people that you're gonna have a set in 4 months' time. Do you know what I mean? Because it was just too much, you know.
I always felt that with Bone, quite neglected because, like, obviously growing up watching him play, I was around him a lot, and then going out listening to the DJs, and I was always like, "Fucking, how come they're not asking T?"
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think he was like pushing the agenda too much. I think
He's such a nice guy. Always, same with Lincoln. Just always been humble, always been nice. And yeah, I think there's a massive argument to say that he wasn't played as much as he should have back then, because obviously he's like, you know, him, Gary, Apollo, they're like the godfathers of Welsh drum and bass, you know.
I think so. Yeah.
And they probably should have got way more respect and way more plays out, and should still be getting way more respect and way more plays out, you know.
We had a couple of guys like that in Barry, so like Chiska, good friend of mine.
Yeah. I'm going to see him Monday.
Yeah. He's amazing DJ. Growing up watching him DJ.
He's got Dr. Mika playing.
Yeah,
I don't know when this is going to go out, but he's got Dr. Mika playing next week.
15th of November.
Yeah.
Yes, we might be a couple of days after this goes out, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Runs the pub Fork and Tune
up in Cumberland. Amazing place, isn't it, Kai? You go up there, it's like one of our closest friends, really. Just go like, yeah, it's like home from home up there, like, you know. Yeah, watching him, growing up watching him DJ, incredible. Should have blown up. He should be like a Carl Cox figure now, Chiska.
Yeah.
With like his beginnings and what he can do. But then we had another one then, Martin McCauley, who was Agent Q.
Yeah.
Who was kind of rolling with Tbone and Picton. And just like growing up as a kid and being in, but Martin, Agent Q, was fucking something else.
Yeah.
If you thought Tbone was good, and Tbone was good, and is fucking, for me, the GOAT, but Martin, when he played a set, you would know all about it. He would take you on a fucking journey.
Yeah.
And it was a dark journey too.
Yeah.
You know?
There was Turbo as well. I put him on a night.
Yeah, Terry's good.
Yeah, not that long ago. And I didn't know, you know, much about, because when you pass the torch in drum and bass, you kind of like a lot of people just fall by the wayside. But I played him up in District on the roof, and I had to go home to go and get stuff for the night, and Terry went on, and I just sat there the whole time. I literally didn't go home. I was like, this set was so good, so like proper old school, took you on a proper journey, played the tunes. Wow, do you know what I mean? Gave the tune a proper airing out, man. Yeah, all of those boys.
Turbo's really humble with it as well. If you ask him, he'll say, "I'm not a DJ, man. I'm not a DJ. It's like, this ain't DJing." But he's sick, like.
Yeah, so that's what so my next project now is I'm going up to Chiska on Monday to start a new project, and what I want to do is I want to get a book of just that tells the story of South Welsh drum and bass from the beginning. So obviously Chiska, ground zero, and then move up, you know. Mainly because, you know, we've lost some people lost some great people,
Yeah.
and you just think that their story needs to be told. And, you know, even though Rob's not here to tell his story from his own mouth, I can speak with you, I can speak with Chiska, and we can just get it down, but tell it from the start and take it all the way, you know, to right now, just so that people know, you know, the changes it's gone through, analog to digital. Do you know what I mean? Like doing raves down the Nap, to those being stopped by the police and having to move into the clubs, then the clubs moving into festivals and all of that, and all the great stories in between. You know, I was speaking to Terry the other day when I went up to Tbone's house, and he was saying how you all used to have to rob the speakers from the waltzes in Barry Island to put into your
We'd rob
speakers.
anything if it wasn't tied down, it'd be going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, all Bass FM stories and all of that. I just think,
Yeah.
you know, before anybody else goes, when they go, they're gonna go with just the greatest stories. Do you know what I mean, of how life was, and what a great scene it was, you know.
Imagine doing a release night for that.
Yeah.
Where you can come and buy the book and there's a drum and bass night and everyone's together. Like,
I think it does, you know, in my head it deserves to. There's a hip hop thing in the museum now, and I think that the drum and bass story needs to be put in a place like that. It deserves, you know. I get hip hop is big in Cardiff and done a lot, but drum and bass is integral. Do you know what I mean?
The hip hop thing in the museum. Like, I got love for Captain, but there was fucking so much stuff that got left out.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, like, if you're on about doing that, it's going to be like a comprehensive everybody that was involved, which is going to take a lot of work.
Yeah.
I feel like the hip hop one, so much left out. It's like, how have you got like certain people? You've got no Squid Ninjas in there. You've got no Scammer. You've got no Joe Blow. You had no Kevin McDonald for the graffiti. No Armour, no Hoax. No Cam Newer. And then you've got other people that have been painting like 18 months and they've got fucking big coats up on the wall. It's like, and I spoke to Captain about it and he's like, yeah, but it's like, this is like what I wanted it to be, like thought provoking. I'm like, no, because it's like, you were kind of like writing the history books here. So you should have included everyone.
Yeah.
You know?
That's it. I love hip hop, grew up on hip hop, but it wasn't like, I was like more punk and then more drum and bass. So I would probably go to the hip hop thing and wouldn't, you know, because I wasn't there, I wouldn't be thinking the same thing. But that's what I want to do. I want to do this project outside of any council funding or any any type of funding or any type of deadline, and just do it properly. Do you know what I mean? Just go and sit with, first of all, Monday, maybe Tuesday, go and sit with Chiska and get the story, get his down, and then ask him, where do I go next? Where was the baton passed from here? You know, what was going on around this time? Who could fill in the gaps that are there? And then, you know, start at the bottom and just move it up, and then speak to people who knew, you know, like people like Specs, who were like really big within the scene, who have passed. And then obviously, you know, people who were, you know, really close with Rob and knew Rob's story from the start. So it's not just me telling my experience with Rob, but it's the people who were with him day in, day out and knew his story. And then hopefully we get like this compendium of, you know, South Wales drum and bass and what everybody did, because, you know, it's a, you know, even though we're like probably seen as like a backwater, do you know what I mean, to like dance music and things like that, like everybody put a shift in, do you know what I mean? Everybody did their best and moved it forward. And just to get, and you know, like we're Welsh as well, so there's like funny stories of, you know, robbing, you know, speakers from the waltzes in Barry Island. Do you know what I mean? Like that's fucking hilarious. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, like I've got stories of things happening in Apature that nobody know about. Do you know what I mean? Of incidents, and I just think it would just
tell you a couple of islands.
Yeah, just imagine like the Welsh version of that. Do you know what I mean? It's just gonna be, you'll see the effort, but you also just see just so much comedy in it as well, you know?
Yeah, we got When I go see Sober as well, he could tell you some mad stories.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted. Yeah, everybody who had the baton passed to them, and everybody who, you know, did their piece. You know, it's going to take a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be good. You know, so Rob's kids have a book, and they can be like, oh, if you go to page, 20 to 35, that's my dad. You know.
Yeah, wicked. Yeah, that'd be amazing. Yeah. So, what have you got any like mad stories we can talk about now? Like maddest night in so say like your maddest night as a promoter, and what happened?
There was there was a night in Glow Bar. Remember Glow Bar?
Oh, yeah.
That was like I won't name it DJ. But I had this DJ come through, and he was playing in Croatia the night before, so he was flying in, and so I was waiting for him at the door of Glow Bar. And first of all, I saw his missus coming in, and his missus was in a rush. He wasn't in a rush. I could see him at the back, not in a rush, and he was late for his set. So his missus runs in, and she's like, "Oh, Dave, he's really scared of flying." So what he did, he took what would you take for like
Valium.
marzipan? Valium. He just he took loads of Valium on the way on the plane, just before the plane, and because he's scared of flying. It didn't kick in though. So on the M4 down here, to counteract it, he just went and got loads of Red Bull and a bottle of vodka so that he could level himself out. And then she gave me a list like the Gremlins. Do you know what I mean? Don't give him any drinks. Don't give him this. Don't do that. Don't do that. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. I'll just put it. What I'll do is I'll get it when he comes in here. I get him on the decks, and he's just walking in the club then, and I'm watching him walk in the club. And he goes and talks to a few of my mates. And unfortunately, one of my mates just invented a new drink, he thought, like a new cocktail. He's called the Green Dragon. It was a bottle of WKD and half a pint. And he put it in, and because it looked green when he did it, he called it the Green Dragon. So he gave him a Green Dragon and like a chaser. And I'm like, yeah, no, I won't give him any drinks. And I just seen him over his shoulder, just down in this Green Dragon. Shot of Jägermeister. I'm like, cool, I'll go and put him on the decks now. So I grab him, walk him down into the basement to put him on the decks. And I run back up the stairs then to get her a drink and to settle her down. So I'm getting her a drink, and then all I can hear downstairs is just booing, just the whole crowd just booing. I'm like, oh. So I'm like Basil Fawlty. I'm just like running straight down the stairs then. And there's the DJ there, and he's just crouched over the decks. The needle is off the decks, hitting the deck on the side. And he's got his headphones off, and he's just whispering into the headphones, Dave, help me, Dave. And Ruben's behind him, and Ruben's just like, I picked him up like 3 times. I've like literally put him on the deck 3 times. Everyone's booing. So I had to call the bouncer down. We had to carry him up the stairs, put him on a sofa. Luckily, as I said, you have your sweeper. Ransom was there.
Yeah.
I was like, Dino, you're going to have to go on the decks. So he went down on the decks and smashed it, and nobody realised. And I booked this DJ, he was booked in the Hilton, which was all the way down Huy Street.
Yeah.
We got him up at the end of the night, got him up. He was like, yeah, I'm fine. Walked out of the club, tripped over a bike, broke all his front teeth. And in the end, I had to book him in a hotel even closer, so he could get a good night's sleep.
Can't name him?
No. A few people will be able to guess,
Oh, probably guess, yeah. So, like, where'd you see it all going for say for Welsh base? Say for Cardiff at the moment. Obviously, we lost Rob with the Circle 8 stuff, but
I don't know. I think drum and bass just fractured a lot since like Circle 8 were keeping it afloat way more than Apature was keeping it afloat. But it's just gone so far gone now. It feels like like how Tesco killed off all the local shops. It feels like the big raves have all killed off the smaller independent, the people who are doing it for hearts. You can't. It's just not viable. I speaking to Chiska the other day, and he's putting his night on, and he was saying how tough it is to promote again, and I was just like, dude, that's why I don't do it anymore. Do you know what I mean? You can't, when you got a kid in your house and you're trying to put food on the table, you can't be gambling, you know, with $5 grand, $6 grand, and losing. Do you know what I mean? Like I know promoters who see a break even night as a success. And you just can't do that. So I don't know how. I don't know where it's going to go. I'm hoping, my hope is that eventually the bubble bursts and it goes back to the underground again, you know, like it always does, and like it should do.
Yeah.
But you never know, you know? So yeah, you're really hoping that like Tesco goes bankrupt. Do you know what I mean? Like, will that ever happen? But hopefully it will, and hopefully it'll go back to the underground, and not me, not anyone who's done it before, but the kids come through again, and the kids find it again, and the kids find DJing again, and they start loving the music again, and they just do their own thing again. Do you know what I mean? I know it's, you know, I still run Concrete Junglist, I still do the clothing, but I just really hope that the kids do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're doing with graffiti. Do you know what I mean? You have kids coming here. You have you know, as you explained it before, you have all these workshops and groups, and you just you know, you have your own legacy. You know, you have your name, and you have your paintings, and you have your pieces that are up. But then you also hope that you also, in the back of your mind, you must think, I hope this kid goes and paints over my piece one day. You know?
Yeah. Well, I hope he don't paint over my piece, but above it to the sides would be quite nice. But I was talking to a friend of mine, Rask from Ireland, about this, the graffiti, and he's like, look, graffiti in the next 10, 20 years is going to change, because the old legends are surely going to be dead.
Yeah.
We're going to be on the point of fucking dying.
Yeah.
70, a lot of them, 65, 70. And he said, who do you see coming through? And I was like, well, not many. And the ones that are coming through, they're just on this different vibe. It's just like, you know, for me, it's about getting out with style. They're just fucking different breeds.
Yeah.
And same with the music, I suppose, as well. It's just all different, and hopefully it carries on. But
yeah, well, it'll be, like you say though, it'll be different. I mean, because otherwise we could be saying like fucking old men being like, it was fucking better in my day.
Yeah, I'm like that now. But I never thought I would be, but I literally am.
Yeah.
Yeah, like back in my day when it's like, I just like, wow.
This is all fields.
Yeah.
Graffiti anyway.
So what's your plans for the future?
Try and keep Concrete Junglist going. I don't know where it's gonna go, but it's the same. You know, if you ask me years ago about Apature or about Droneboy or whatever, do you know what I mean? I just feel like, my overriding feeling is so far so good. Still here. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. What's that Welsh saying? Yamaha Heath. You know, we're still here. We're still doing it. Do you know what I mean? I thought I would be in a call center long ago. You know, but we're not, and we're still doing it, and so far so good.
Amazing, Dave. Thanks for coming, man.
Wicked. Thank you so much for having me, Rob.